What is something unrealistic that you often see in movies that annoys the hell out of you? The bit in a car chase where somebody on a bike does a cool slide under something and just carries on. I've done a not cool version of that, and what actually happens is your left leg is pinned between tarmac and a quarter of a ton of hot metal. You aren't walking it off, and the bike is ruined because you just ripped off the gear lever. Explosions. Fireballs are from pyrotechnics and they look cool, but they look nothing like real explosions from bombs or grenades, and launch people 10 feet away for no reason. Also shotguns. Shotguns, with either buckshot or slugs, are not a magic force push cannon. They do not ragdoll the person across the room. Firing a weapon and continuing with your conversation. Enhance image. I once saw a feed from a fucking security camera being zoomed and enhanced to see the reflection of the assassin on the eye of the victim. I'm talking to you, CSI. My graphic designer wife was once given the photo of a back of a woman's head. The client asked her to rotate the image so she could see the face. Give me a second. These firewalls are practically unbreakable. Let me just bypass a 10. Aggressive typing now to just, and I'm in. Slams the enter key and turns to the protagonist with a grin. I wish hacking a multi-million-dollar security system was that easy. Sex scenes. I think the guy's down would break based on his position, and women don't seem to wear underwear. It's always just whoop it in, look no hands. Hospital shows where they shock a flatline. It's a non-shockable rhythm, and the patients miraculously pick up a rhythm after 1-2 shocks and the patient is awake and talking. Wait, you only shock people if they are still ticking, but not as well as you'd want them to? Have I been lied to my whole life? Yes, it's not meant to start a heart, but to correct a messed up rhythm. When hero misses the perfect opportunity to kill the villain like 100 times. Then villain does something to the hero's family and all of a sudden the hero decides to make it his life's mission to kill the villain. Car wrecks generally do not explode. The Blues Brothers did it surprisingly right. Running from someone shooting an automatic gun and avoiding every shot. Bullets observe the conservation of accuracy principle. If you shoot a single bullet in a movie it will hit its target 99% of the time. But if you shoot 100 bullets they each drop to less than 1% of hitting the target. Works with ninjas too. 1 ninja is very dangerous, 13 ninjas is about the same level of threat in total. When 2 people walk 5 feet away from the group and have a conversation at full volume, yet somehow no one in the group can seem to hear anymore. How male scientists look like mad scientists and female scientists are all supermodels. My marine friend once said I don't like war movies because they are either so inaccurate I get angry or so accurate I get angry. Girls looking perfect. They wake up with makeup on and their hair styled. Even if they're in the hospital. They spend weeks or months in captivity but don't grow leg or armpit hair. They go through a jungle with a group of guys and the men will look like shit while the girl will get a smudge of dirt on one cheekbone. Takes me right out of the experience every time. 12 years after the apocalypse. Society has collapsed. People are fighting for scraps. The rule of law is forgotten. Electricity and running water are things of the past. The men all have shaggy, but still slightly groomed, beards and long unkempt hair. Meanwhile, the women have taken time between fleeing zombies / enemy hordes / etc to shave their legs and armpits, style their hair, and put on makeup. In horror films, there's always that harmless thing that startles the main character first, an animal scurrying, object falling, catching their own reflection in the mirror, etc. They laugh it off, and then turn around to see the real scare. Every time. Or how the characters have absolutely zero common sense. I swear, if the character had a modicum of intelligence, they'd never be in that situation. Fight scenes. Most real fights are over in 30 seconds. In movies and TV they take several kicks to the head, kidney punches, the odd chair broken over your back, maybe get choked, even get stabbed, and presto, still keep on fighting. Usually they are completely unaffected and doing something that would be impossible to do just seconds after. Hey, I just got beaten to an inch of my life, but somehow managed to win the fight. Let's run up these stairs like it's no problem and defuse this bomb. Massive breakfast made, and family or family member rushes out with a piece of toast. No one says goodbye on the phone. Ever. They just finish a sentence and hang up the phone. I hate it. No one does that, and I have never heard anyone say goodbye in a show or movie. See also, can I take you to dinner? Sure. Great, I'll see you at 8 *HANGUP where? Where will you see her? You don't know where she lives, and you didn't agree on a place. Endless magazines in guns right until the point where the people shooting at each other need that last bullet to eliminate the other person, but strangely there's no bullets left. Or when 80 bad guys spray bullets at one guy, each one missing, then the lone person one-shots every bad guy without missing a single shot point, and never changing magazine. Falling from obviously fatal heights, but if they land in water it's all okay. The scientist or smart guy working out a problem on a big clear chalkboard and writing completely random formulas unrelated to the problem. I always pause the screen and zoom in, and literally one time they had all 3 variations of the Pythagorean theorem, as in one solved in terms of a, one for B, and one for C. In medieval movies, people wearing chainmail right up against their skin, particularly on the head. That might stop a cut, but if you get clubbed in the head with a sword or a spear, it's still going to kill you just by sheer force. Mail was worn over thick linen or wool. Plainclothes detective or federal agent with an unholstered pistol chasing someone through New York City, but every random patrol cop they could encounter is like, okay, you must be one of us, I'll just help you shoot at the other guy with no questions asked. People punching / crashing through glass and not having their skin ripped to shreds. I often wonder how many real life people have punched through windows with a scrap of thin material over their fist and been surprised at all the blood. One of the things I most appreciate Die Hard for is being more realistic about how dangerous broken glass is. I may be the only comment here, but it must be said. In all of the iterations of Batman that I've seen, Mrs. Wayne gets her pearl necklace snapped by a gun. Pearls go everywhere. False. Pearls, especially the kind owned by billionaires, are knotted to prevent the pearls from touching. When pearls touch, they essentially lose their luster and die. So in reality, her necklace snaps, and she loses a single pearl and the rest of the necklace hangs across her neck in a very anticlimactic fashion, a tale brought to you by your local pearl repair lady. Thanks. People in apocalyptic situations who still get intimate. Like, if it's the apocalypse no one has showered in days, and I guarantee you, there's a lot of smells happening. Also, honorable mention to apocalypse movies who show women perfectly made up with no hair anywhere and perfect eyebrows. 2 people falling in love with each other because they survived a life-threatening experience with one another without any major romantic or emotional bonding developing throughout the entire timeline of the movies. I'm looking at you, Star Wars. Pulling knives out of stab wounds to help them. I mean that would lead in severe bleeding, man. That is dangerous information they are giving. All the little details just break my immersion. Endless bullets. Heroes never getting hurt. Forced romance. Someone suddenly being conveniently good at something. Last minute saves. No one notices the heroes when they sneak, like. Ever? Perfect hair and clothes at all times. Always clean. I mean, I get that a movie should look good, but this Hollywood approach is the reason I've hated movies for most of my life. Someone hanging onto a ledge with one arm, holding a person with the other. Then lifting the weight of another large human up over your head over onto ledge. In movies/TV, when groups of friends just have time to all meet up for breakfast before work on a weekday or something. That's insane to me. Most people I know barely have time to eat breakfast in their own home, let alone get ready for work and go somewhere to sit down for breakfast beforehand. In Spider-Man: Far From Home, he finds himself in the Netherlands and everyone is super polite. I live in the Netherlands. We are not.